Yo guys, what's going on? It's your boy Black Online. Today, I'm still sick. You should just expect me to say that every time I open a video. But today we have yet another leak, and yet again by the same goddamn dude that's been leaking all this stuff. He's leaked that Modern Warfare 2 Remastered will arrive with crossplay and multiplayer. Before I go any further in this video, make sure you leave a like because it helps me out a bunch. But yeah, let's get into it. Now we know that earlier in the year, the ESRB and the Australian Classifications Board ratings earlier leaked that Modern Warfare 2 Remastered was going to be campaign only. I made a whole video on that talking about why this is a mistake. You can go back and watch that if you like. But the essentially just the short version of that video is that Modern Warfare 2 Remastered was initially planned to be campaign only, and it was going to be something that was going to be released for like $20, just as a standalone thing, just to be out there. But if this rumor is to be believed, Modern Warfare 2 Remastered is now going to come with multiplayer and campaign, but releasing at different times. So many expected Modern Warfare 2 Remastered to be released last year because obviously it was just going to be campaign only, so we expected it to come earlier because they didn't have much to work on. But as this leak says that as a result of the No Russian mission, obviously a controversial mission in Modern Warfare 2 where you could kill like literally innocent people in an airport, Activision apparently delayed the game in a bid to avoid backlash, which is ironic because Modern Warfare is meant to be the most controversial Call of Duty. So I don't know. It's unclear as to when Modern Warfare 2 Remastered is going to launch, but apparently there's a couple things that we can predict and kind of look at clues as to say when this is going to be revealed. So potentially, the Dark edition of Modern Warfare could include Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, which was previously posted to like places like Amazon and GameStop, but then taken down afterwards. The campaign could release 30 days prior to the launch of Modern Warfare, which is something that I actually speculated way back when we were first speculating when and how this game was going to be revealed. I said to release the Modern Warfare 2 Remastered campaign about a month earlier than whatever the new Call of Duty was, because back then we didn't know it was Modern Warfare. So release the Modern Warfare 2 Remastered campaign 30 days before Modern Warfare comes out in order to get the hype and generate the hype and get people ready. And then once the game gets released, that's when you release multiplayer as well. But according to this, multiplayer could arrive 6 months after the release of Call of Duty Modern Warfare, which is interesting, right? Because it makes a lot of sense. Because if you see what happened with Infinite Warfare, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare Remastered, you had two different games, two different sets of players who would play two different games, and your fan base was split, right? So you had your people who would play Infinite Warfare and they were cool with playing that game, and then you had your people who were playing Modern Warfare Remastered, and essentially you were just competing with themselves. Activision was just competing with themselves in terms of where the money's going and all that sort of stuff. But it seems like what they're doing here is that they're releasing the Modern Warfare 2 Remastered campaign, getting people hyped for Call of Duty, then releasing the new game Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and then 6 months later, when maybe you're going to find people tailing off and getting bored with the current game, that's when you release Modern Warfare 2 Remastered campaign, multiplayer, reinvigorating the franchise, getting people excited for Call of Duty once again, and then announcing your Black Ops 5 or Black Ops reboot or whatever that is shortly after that, when Call of Duty hype is at its highest. Makes a lot of sense. To me, at least, it makes a lot of sense. The leaker says that Modern Warfare 2 Remastered has been finished since April, so the campaign at least has been finished. Maybe the multiplayer is something that they put onto their plate later on to kind of get ready, and kind of was like, oh, since we're ready for release now, why don't we take that next step further and do multiplayer in this game? Next up, we'll talk about crossplay. So crossplay is something that we got introduced to in Fortnite, at least on a grand scale, and it's something that's coming to a lot of games nowadays. It's even come to Call of Duty Modern Warfare. So the current game, the game to be released in October, is gonna have crossplay in it. So PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Now the crossplay here in Modern Warfare 2 Remastered is a little bit different to that. It's gonna have players playing on the remaster as well as the original game. So players on PlayStation 4 will be able to connect with the users on PS3, and then vice versa, and then the same thing on Xbox. So Xbox One users can play with 360 players, which is interesting to say the least. It's the most unbelievable part of this rumor. Like the fact that Modern Warfare 2 Remastered campaign is ready is believable. The fact that multiplayer could be released 6 months after the release of Call of Duty Modern Warfare is believable. But this one doesn't make sense. So if you guys don't know, Xbox One has the ability to have backwards compatibility. So you can actually play Modern Warfare 2 on the Xbox One on the original game on the original servers. So in that sense, it's kind of like crossplay already. But if this is to be true, and if Modern Warfare 2 Remastered is going to have crossplay, it would have to be the exact same game as the original. The same servers, the same graphics, the same weapons. Like, they can't monetize this game post-launch. You can't have supply drops in Modern Warfare 2 Remastered because you're going to have two sets of players rocking out with two different guns. Like, it's not going to make sense. So, I don't know. I honestly have no idea on this one. It's interesting to say the least. If the exact same game is released, then yeah, it'll work. But we all know it won't, because we all know that if Modern Warfare 2 Remastered multiplayer does get released, Activision's gonna want to put in a supply depot. Activision's gonna want to put in the ability to have supply drops and skins and stuff like that. Imagine rocking up in a crossplay lobby on Xbox or PlayStation. You have the original players who are just rocking up with their original character models and stuff like that, and then you have some dude in rainbow pants, in a rainbow ghillie suit. I don't fucking know. Whatever they end up doing with the supply drops in Modern Warfare 2 Remastered multiplayer, like it wouldn't make sense. The last little bit of this rumor actually is pretty interesting as well. In addition to Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, Modern Warfare 3 Remastered is supposedly in development as well. Details have been under wraps for this though, and the king of leaks doesn't know anything else other than that it's in development. Whether or not it'll be campaign only or if it'll be the full game like we all want. But I don't know, man. This leak is... I want this leak to be true. I want this leak to be 100% true. Like, yes, we're getting multiplayer. Yes, we're getting crossplay. Yes, we're getting Modern Warfare 3 Remastered. But as you keep reading into this leak, and as you keep looking at what the dude's saying and what he reckons is coming, as opposed to his sources, doesn't really sound like Activision. Doesn't really sound like something that they do. It doesn't sound like they'd miss out on the opportunity to gain money post-launch from the multiplayer of one of the most popular Call of Duties in order to have crossplay. Doesn't really make sense. I don't know. Look, I'm honestly at a loss for words. Usually I have a lot to say about this sort of stuff, but I'm drawing a blank, because to me, I want it to be true, but at the same time, I know that something like this doesn't make sense. It also doesn't make sense because his recent leaks have been pretty well done, like his Battle Royale leak, the multiplayer guns list, the kill streaks gun list, all of that sort of stuff has been pretty spot on. Like, yeah, there's little nits and bits that you can poke at and say, oh, I don't know about this doesn't really fit with what they're doing. But this rumor is completely out of the water. It's like tinfoil hat type stuff. It's that sort of leak. Again, all of this is subject to change. All of this is pinch of salt type stuff, because as I said, it's just a rumor, it's just a leak. Like, we won't know what we're getting until we actually get something official. And yeah, I mean, what do you guys think? Let me know what you guys think about all of this stuff in the comments down below. What do you think about the scattered release of the game? What do you think about crossplay? What do you think about Modern Warfare 3 Remastered? What do you think about all of this stuff? Leave it in the comments down below. As I said at the start of this video, leaving a like does help me out a bunch. Click subscribe if you're new here, and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on whenever this dude leaks another thing, because we know that he will leak something again. Keep a lookout on that sort of stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.